already measured and sieved. Make sure you sieve your flour to remove any dirt and also to incorporate air. So this is our flour that is already measured and sieved. So into the flour, we're gonna add all the dry ingredients first. So this is 1 cup of sugar. It's already measured. So we're just going to add it straight. Then this is also 1 cup of milk. And the next is the salt. This is 1/8 cup of salt. It's already measured. And this is the improver, 1/2 tablespoon of improver. You can use any improver in the market. Just when you get to the market, ask them for bread improver. This is 1/2 tablespoon. Then our nutmeg. Okay, let's measure the nutmeg. We are using 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. So I'm trying to make sure it's 1 teaspoon. Then the yeast. Make sure when you're adding the yeast should not come close to the salt. You understand? Yeast and salt are like enemies. We are using 1 tablespoon of yeast. So this is where our salt is. This is where we're going to put the yeast so that 2 of them will not join together. Then this is the preservative. We are adding 1/8 teaspoon of preservative, just little. And I think we are done with all the dry ingredients. So at this point, we are going to mix everything together before we start adding the liquid ingredients. Mix thoroughly and make sure everything is well incorporated. I think we are done. So for the liquid ingredients, we are going to start with the milk flavor. We're using 1/2 teaspoon of milk flavor. This is oil flavor. I'm using condensed milk flavor. We have other brands in the market. We have the milk zest, but I'm using condensed milk flavor. Then the oil vanilla, dark vanilla. This is what I'm using. The same 1/2 teaspoon. Then 1/8 cup of oil. 1/8 cup of oil. Then you mix all together before we now start adding our water gradually. So we'll be starting with 1 cup of water first. Just create a well in the middle and pour in the water. Watch my mixing. We want to add another cup of, this is the 2nd cup of water. Mixing. Just make sure you mix everything together. Okay, we'll add the 3rd cup. It depends on the flour you are using. Make sure you are using high gluten flour. Because not all flour absorb the water the same way. So when you're adding, you watch and add. Don't just add it straight up, so that you will not be adding excess. I think we are okay. So you see, I didn't finish the last cup. So it depends. Some flour will absorb more water, while some will not. So it depends on the type of flour you are using. But whichever flour you are using, just make sure it has high gluten content. Just ask them for any flour that is good for bread. So I think at this point, we'll transfer it to the table so that we will knead it thoroughly. Okay, at this point, let's transfer to the table and knead it very well. So as you can see, it's sticking on the table. So we need some flour. We need to sprinkle some flour so that it will not be sticking on our table again. So that we'll be able to knead it thoroughly. So once it's sticking, you sprinkle flour and continue. As you can see, it's getting smoother. You can actually use your spiral mixer if you have one, or your cake mixer. You use the hook attachment to achieve this. So if you have your spiral mixer, then it's perfect. You don't need to stress yourself. Or your cake mixer, industrial cake mixer, not the kitchen machine. So we are good to go. Once you're done kneading the dough, the next step is to measure out the dough into equal sizes, and we will achieve that with our measuring scale. So make sure you're using digital measuring scale. So we are going to take it to 0. So we are measuring 200 grams. It's more than 200. Let's cut out. We're trying to make sure everything is 200 grams. So it's 204 then. 204, just a little bit. So this is 200 grams. I'll do that with the rest of the dough. So we have 9 pieces of hamburger, and we have this small one left. You can choose to reduce the size if you want, but I choose, my own is 200 grams. Your own can be 150 grams. Your own could be more than, depending. So just measure the one that suits you. Okay, so the next step is to start molding each of the sizes into small balls. So watch my molding. Need to be careful. Watch me closely. Just from outside, I'm trying to bring it in. Don't worry, you will watch the next one. So I think this one is okay. So this is good to go. Okay, I think this one is okay. This one is okay. See it. Then you place it in your pan, in your oven tray. I'm using non-stick tray, but if you're not using non-stick tray, make sure you grease it with your margarine. But I'm using non-stick tray, so there is no need greasing it with margarine. Give it space. Give it a very good space so that when it's rising, it will not cling to each other. So just give it a very good space like mine. Next step is to cover it with anything thick, with any thick towel. Look for anything thicker than mine so that it will rise faster. Just make sure you cover it very well and keep it in a very warm place. If you're a baker, your baking room is the best option. Just place it there. You can place it on the top of your oven or any place so that it will rise very fast. Okay. Yes, now as you can see, our burger bread have doubled in size. So the next step is to egg wash. So this is our egg that is already beaten. So what we're gonna do is to egg wash with your pastry brush. So the next step is, this is our desiccated coconut. You can get any brand in the market. Desiccated coconut. Then the next step is to sprinkle it on each of the bread. Let's do it. So it's ready to be baked.